Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Coffee Review. It is the week of Halloween. It is a lovely October 29th, and we're here to talk about some spooky things. Some things about Bluebeam, some things about all sorts of things. And yes, just because I wear an orange sweater must mean I'm festive this week. But how's it going today, Michael?
Going good. So excited about some news that we got updated with. Maybe we'll have a little bit of an in-depth conversation. Had an amazing weekend, so did a little bit of a Halloween thing, and then did some tank builds. So nice, relaxing weekend. But yeah, excited. We have a good topic today for creating custom tool sets. I know that's always a question. And then we're going to talk about some special dates.
That's right. So I've got something that I'm going to pull up here in just a minute to share. But before we get to that, should we talk about maybe marking off your calendar? Should we tease it a little bit? Should we toe the line like we
maybe
normally
we don't
do?
Yeah, maybe we don't exactly announce the day, but around the week of that's going to happen.
Yeah, there we go.
You can kind of come to a conclusion with that if we want to toe the line a little bit tighter.
Yeah. Well, and I know that this will tie into what David did. So, David, I saw on the LinkedIn's that you went to New York for a Bluebeam Live event. And I looked in the chat like you had an excellent time. The pictures looked really cool. It was a similar event to what Michael went to in Dallas. I think they've got, one more?
I think that was the last one. And that's
one?
probably why the dates were sent out, I would assume.
Okay.
Yeah, I think New York was the last one because they already had their London one, didn't they? London's next week?
Yeah, no, it was because I remember seeing Fred Mills on his LinkedIn.
Saying that he's going to be at the London one?
Yeah,
right,
he was
Bluebeam
Live.
Live. Let's look at. Oh, he was already there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's done. Let me look. London. No, it says London the 30th tomorrow. New York. So London's the last day.
Okay, cool. So for those following along, Bluebeam Live has had these one-day. Bluebeam has had these events called Bluebeam Live, which are a one-day event through various cities across the country, right, or the world. New York, Miami, Dallas, L.A., Sydney, Australia, and London tomorrow. So these events, they look like they've been well attended, and it seems to fill that gap that Bluebeam has had with the lack of conferences, and people like to get together and share what they know about Bluebeam and see how everybody is using it in their everyday workflows, and that sort of ties to the news. So I know that we've teased it a little bit, but we got official word that there will be a Bluebeam conference returning. And it won't be just a one-day thing, and it won't be spread across the globe. It will be a few days in our nation's capital.
And that's a weird. Did you look at the calendar for that?
No.
Oh, I'm looking at October. Okay, never mind. Okay, yeah.
It's before October. So let's just say maybe the week before October without saying apparent numbers. So there we go.
Well, it's a blend. Say it's a blend.
It's a blend.
2 months.
But it'll be a good time. And we will do our best to be there as well, and see what we can do to meet some of y'all and learn from one another and just have a good old time in our nation's capital. I think it'll be really cool. I'm excited to see that Bluebeam is making the investment. It's a ton of work to put on a conference. It's not something you just throw together. But I'm glad that they're seeing the demand from the users that, hey, this is what we kind of want.
I wonder why both conferences are near. This will probably be a better time for him too. Did you say the month that it would be in?
Before October.
Okay. Well, let's center it around a different one that we do know the dates for. So, AU is going to be what dates? 15 through the whatever?
Yeah. So Michael and I just got back from Autodesk University, which traditionally back in the years ago has always been, late November, mid-November, around that week before Thanksgiving. And now it's been creeping up. So this year it was mid-October. Next year it's going to be mid-September. So Brian just posted in the chat September 15th through the 18th in Nashville, Tennessee, which sounds pretty sweet. I've never been to Nashville. Excited to check that out. Um, but a couple weeks after AU will be a Bluebeam conference, which will be in similar length, but also on the East Coast. I mean, I can't. Nashville's not East Coast, but it's east of the Mississippi. Therefore, it's east to me.
Yeah, so I guess my question is pushing these back further.
Um,
Is
I think
that a different like tone? What would be the main reason to keep pushing them back further, more towards that hotter time of
um,
the year,
I think less travel
cooler
hiccups,
area? Okay.
perhaps. Because I mean, not really. Our weather is Mother Nature's clearly drunk, doing whatever she wants anymore. But I think that's a great point, Brian. Conference space availability is a big part of it. Conferences are back, right? We're post COVID. It's still very real. Be safe out there, but conferences are back. Medical conferences, all types of things are going on. Lower travel costs. It is the busier season, and for some people, that's not interfering with the holidays, and also allowing the back to school type of timeline, perhaps. But who
Hmm.
knows? But I do think it's interesting that there will be two big conferences, especially for two big companies that ATG deals with, in the same month.
It's going to be interesting
Yeah.
because we're going to be submitting for one. I'm going to be submitting for AU again. So like that timeline junction is going to be a little bit rocky in my opinion. But hey, I'm glad that it's not in mid-October because I plan on taking my sabbatical next year in October. So let me just
There,
keynote that.
there you go. Um, and David, I think you hit it on the head. It is a budget buster. So that's why I kind of want to just throw that out there now, because I've been talking to a lot of clients like, yeah, we're working on our budget for 2025. Up your conference budget.
Because you're going to have
Now
two next year,
at least two. And if you go
at
to
least two.
Esri, that's in July. So there's
And Esri
those.
was bigger than AU,
Twice the size of AU.
which is wild.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
AU was packed. I couldn't imagine an additional, what, 5,000 people you think it was? Because it was 20, you
10,000.
said?
Yeah. So AU was 10,000.
Was it only 10? I thought it was like
Esri was
13, 14.
20,000.
Okay.
And I'm guessing Bluebeam will be probably five. I think they
I
can
would
pull
say
a big
probably
draw.
5. Yeah. But the issue is going to be, are people going to, and we were just talking about this, are you, are you the individual? So let's ask you all, would you have to submit from a work perspective? You wouldn't be able to attend both.
You'd have to
You'd have to choose, right?
you'd
I
have to
mean,
choose, or you'd have to be of a certain status, or have to beg accordingly, because that's tough to be gone 2 weeks a month.
yeah, because that's what we'll have to do.
Yeah. And David, I think that's a good point. With a lot of people were able to attend Bluebeam Live because, yeah, it was free. You could get there with gas because there was so many different locations, but to get to Washington D.C. is a different story. um and David, I've gone to AU several times, or a few times, with people who Autodesk didn't really apply for their workflows, but just for the networking and just for like the what ifs. It can be quite handy. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't rule it out if you're not a technical user of Autodesk, but if you're in the AEC space, there's value to be had for sure. And I think the AU hangover has worn off, and I've had more time to reflect on what that conference means to our industry, and it's it's interesting for sure.
What do you think? I mean, there was a lot of learning, right?
Hmm.
If you went to classes, so you still think it's as impactful, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because made, I mean, even though I only went to one class, shame on me, I still met people in the expo hall and saw companies that I didn't know that they existed. I didn't know that that workflow or that product or that idea was even a thing.
Yeah.
And that can break down some of those barriers that maybe people have put up themselves, and I think that's been powerful.
It's exciting. I'm excited that my main worry was going to be that this event fell into the later months of October, and it would have been a little bit rough for me to take sabbatical. So exciting.
And I'm looking up something. Sure enough, it looks like Built is coming back too.
Built was a big event, wasn't it, too?
Wait, this is a different one. So I know there's Built, and then there's Built Worlds. Built Worlds will be back in May in New York, it looks like. But the Built itself, I don't know. If anybody knows, let me know. Um, Chicago Build Expo, there's so many different conferences, but the actual Built one was a big one, and I remember that being, pulling in a ton of construction and architecture folks. But they didn't do it for this year, which is interesting.
But all interesting. So it'll be exciting to see kind of how these all play out within one another. And it'll be interesting to get your all take when we have this conversation down the road when the dates are officially announced as people plan their budget for the next fiscal year. How many budgetories, is that a word, are going to allow you from a perspective of going to both, right? Some
Right.
of us may be wanting to attend both, and it fits in our workflows that we would need to attend both. It'll be exciting to kind of see where this goes, because it's been a while since the XCon days, and how those align with the other conferences. So either way, Jason and I will do our best to be at both. Most definitely the Bluebeam one, and we'll be submitting a class as well. So start getting your classes ready on things and workflows that you want to speak on.
Yeah, and I saw the question, will they allow customer presentations? And I would imagine with the timeline, with this being a multi-day event, of course they're going to allow customer presentations like they did at XCon. Because XCon
Yeah,
was 2 days, right?
XCon was 2 days, yes.
So this
Was
is
it?
3?
Yeah, it was 2 days. Um, which is interesting if this one's going to be as long as it is.
Yeah. They'll certainly want some, I'm sure there'll be a call for speakers and everything like a normal conference, which would be great. And if you want to speak but need an idea on topic, we'll probably have an MCR talking about all that, and we're happy to have a chat offline to, help guide you if you want to do that. And same thing for AU, and I know Brian's put that, Brian Haley's put out that offer as well, to help guide speakers who want to present at a conference. We can put our heads together and help you get on that stage.
Yep. We can definitely help with AU, and also we're not going to say the name of what it is now, but what the new XCon is going to be. And then also, if you have any specific items that you want to have from a question perspective too, I'm just trying to think, because they're probably going to fill it with Go Canvas too as well.
Mm-hmm. I saw the pictures on LinkedIn from the New York event that Go Canvas was a big part of it. David can verify.
I mean, we talked about Go Canvas at ours too, but I'm wondering if they ramped it up more than what it was, so than what we had at ours. I don't know.
Who knows? Is there a little bit of FOMO for not hitting all of them?
Me?
I mean,
no,
yeah.
Definitely not.
I mean, I'd go to London tomorrow. That sounds fun.
I would go to Sydney or London for sure.
I'm drinking my tea. Get my pinky up.
London, dude. Yeah, London would be pretty cool to go and see in person. Because I haven't traveled, but we're not global, so there would be no point for us to go. It would just be more of a bucket list item.
So, yeah. David, I can see that, it being a long session. Nemetschek invested a lot into Go Canvas, so they want to spread the word and get the ROI there. But
I
They
wonder how
still,
much they paid for it. Can you look that up?
I want to say I've seen the number before,
How much?
but yeah, it doesn't apply to everyone, and I think eventually it will as customers start taking a look at uh, uh, taking a look at it more and seeing how it can apply to their workflows. But I know, we're here at ATG are getting ready for it. We're having some conversations, putting dots on I's and crosses on T's to do what we can do to help. Because I know I've got a handful of customers that I've talked to over the past 6 to 8 months who'd be like, "Yep, sign me up for this." So,
Signed a definitive agreement to acquire all shares of GoCanvas for around a 11.5 times multiple on 2023 ARR of 67 million,
what? So they got it
or
for 67 million, or they got it
or
for
well over 700 million. It says
that's a lot of money.
that's a lot of money.
Huh. Because that's a pretty small crew. We met some
Well,
of the founders and
Numachek
stuff.
purchased it. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I think about, Autodesk acquired Innovyze a couple years ago, which is a water solution. Well, like they're calling it Autodesk Water Solutions now, but Innovyze itself was like $1.1 billion and much more robust. I don't want to discount GoCanvas for what it is, but like I think Innovyze was a much bigger monster for 1.1 billion versus 700 million. You're saying for GoCanvas?
Well, yeah, it's saying I don't get this what an ARR is, but that's assuming, man, these things are already pinging
Annual
me.
realized revenue or something like that.
Yeah, 67 million or well over 700 million is what it's saying. So,
Oh, yes, Brian, that's exactly. Yeah, their website could make it a little easier to understand what it does. But
say what they're, because Brian, they need you to talk to somebody.
yeah, um,
We're gonna have Go Canvas on here, so don't worry.
yeah,
They're gonna demo it. We'll have a conversation. Um, Go Canvas will be on MCR in the near future. We're just waiting again, like Jason said, for some things to be flushed out. That way, we don't want to have it on here and then people are asking for it and we can't do anything about it. So what we are doing is strategically waiting for things to get ironed out on our end. And then we'll have their team on, and you all will be able to see it and see if it kind of fits in your groove, if it does, or it doesn't. But yeah, and then I'll live on forever on YouTube. So
yeah.
with that, sorry.
We'll have to make sure that Brian's here so you can ask about his bakery software needs.
Yeah.
But maybe that one's for December because I won't be here.
I forgot. Right.
Yeah.
So Artley is going to be, well, we won't announce it until it's official.
Until it's official. I don't want to jinx anything, but
yeah, let's not
no
jinx
more next
anything.
week.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get to our
yes.
topic here. So I'm fueled up on tea. Meeting Ed Lowe got me fired up for tea again. And
yes, have you been having tea? Is it enough? Is it enough caffeine?
No, I still had coffee this morning, but I needed tea. It's the whole allergy thing, and it's just bugging me. So I'm just drinking hot liquid is nice. But
with local honey.
I have local honey, but I didn't.
You should be adding it in your tea. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll digress. Apparently that's the thing because we do that here. My allergies haven't been bad this last year, and they were pretty bad. My eyes were hurting all the time.
Oh,
for those of you who don't know, I'm blind.
It's all the leaves are falling, so all the neighbors got their leaf blowers out and just wreaking havoc with dust and air quality. So, and I'm one of those people with a leaf blower who doesn't take proper precautions. So of course, I got some issues here going on. But anywho, while I fire this up, so today's topic, we're actually going to get on topic today. Look at that. Is sharing a spooky toolbox, and then we're going to go through and talk about maybe how they did that. I know it's been a hot minute since we've discussed some of these workflows, and we've gone through some of the ways to really, really customize your toolbox instead of just using a snapshot. So we're just going to dive right in. Um, and I'm
And
going. What?
and
Go ahead.
also in the future, these will all be tied to the users, which will be nice. So
Yes, they will all be tied to the user. So I'm going to pull up just a demo data set, like I normally do. I did have it on dark mode, which we showed off before, and I do have my dark mode configured for a blueprint look because I think it's kind of cool, but that will affect the tool set that I'm going to show you. So since it is Halloween week, it sure would be nice if I had a tool chest in here that had some symbols in it. I've got my winter ones queued up because snow is in the 10-day forecast, but it's still Halloween. I need my Reese's Pieces and my Butterfingers to get delivered to me. So let's go ahead and add, and I'm going to import a new tool set that I have stored somewhere. No, that's not where it is. Let me should probably pull this off so I can not dig through everything because I don't remember where I put things anymore. In case you
are we
haven't
gonna
figured
give this to people that joined MCR?
if you can think of a way,
You
couldn't we
just
just
drop
put
it
it in the
in.
chat?
Yeah, I think you can. Well, you just do I would do a share link
Mm,
via
so
Dropbox.
I have a Spooktacular Symbols BTX file. This was something that Bluebeam made way back in the day, so 2017, and it's still cool. So I'm going to grab that. I already had it in there, and I'm going to use my arrows because I want to move it up to the top here.
You
And let's
could
see
do
our little thing.
a session ad,
Ooh, we could do that. Perhaps
and
we
only
will.
people that joined MCR can get it.
So we have a Bluebeam created Spooktacular Symbols toolset, right? And some of these are really fun. They went through some effort to put some cool graphics together, and we're going to go through them. And then we're going to toggle on dark mode to show what that looks like. But more importantly, we're going to go through and sort of dissect
Yeah, I want to see
um,
how they made them.
and figure out how they made these. Because some are, pretty straightforward. This one is probably just a mirror of that one, right? And these are just different color variations. But how did they create that geometry? And more importantly, how did they get three different color things all in one object? And man, one of these days we're going to do another session build off, and we should have done that for jack o' lanterns. But ooh, Black Widow, and we got to put the kitty cats by the door, and the crow up on the roof here, and the witch flying up there. Again, these are just mirrors of some of them. We'll put bones in the dirt. There we go.
Inserted a
And
jack o'
then
lantern in the drawing.
yeah.
You can just hide them because you can scale these down. I would
Hmm.
love to. You remember we used to do office games like that where people would
Yeah.
unplug mices and stuff like that. I would definitely.
No, I would never know anything about that.
um, I do remember that all the time. You'd come in and you're like, my keyboard's not working.
Yeah.
But to bury these in like a PDF set would be a good fun little Easter egg.
Yeah. So that's our disclaimer. We are not responsible for
We
any
are not
malicious
encouraging
activity.
you,
Nope. Mm-mm.
but it would be fun.
It would be fun. Put a piece of tape over the little laser on their mouse. Yeah. There's all sorts of
Yeah.
shenanigans that I don't miss from the office days. But let's take a look at this little jack o' lantern here. Let's cut it open, shall we? So I'm going to take this guy over here, and it's actually pretty detailed.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I
I
mean
almost think
they.
it's an image. Do we think it's an image?
I don't know. It could be. Oh, it looks like it's a group. And sure enough,
Wow.
these are all Bluebeam objects. That looks like it's its own group too. No. Oh, that's just with a different color outline. There we go. So they had created some geometry with an outline and filled it in with yellow. And this looks like just a little polyline there. This
Yeah,
one,
there's an arc.
that's just overlapping. So we can dissect our little pumpkin and take the various components
But how'd
and
they
see.
make the big circle? I guess it is just a polyline. It has to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the amount of time that went into this is quite impressive. right? So if you wanted to create your own custom thing, what would you make?
Is even the witch one too?
Um, this one has to be, yeah, ungroup. Sure enough.
Wow.
Like they must have like brought something in and traced it.
Oh,
I don't know.
100%. They probably did trace it.
Like how I feel like I don't know if I could make that. If I made a polygon and just do some like convert to arc maybe,
Yep, that's what it was, convert to arcs.
and then right click, convert to arc, right click, convert to arc. Can I select the whole thing and convert it to arc?
Mm-mm. It's just the
That,
points.
yeah. I'll leave that top one flat. But yeah, you could make a bunch of arcs. You could manipulate it, and this is not an AutoCAD polyline. It's not going to be the same. But we might be able to get, oh, I don't know. But manipulating these control points, well, pumpkins have that little ridge, don't they? Sure. It's been a hot minute since I've had to do got to do a jack-o'-lantern. It's probably not too late. I can go grab one today.
Yeah, we were supposed to have pumpkin carving thing. We had a little Halloween shindig here, but we didn't carve pumpkins.
When was the last time you carved a pumpkin? The world wants to know. I want to
It's
say
been a
it's been
minute for me.
probably about 7 or 8 years for me. Huh. Weird.
I
Maybe
mean,
I'll
we
get on that.
grew blue pumpkins in our backyard the last couple of years. We didn't. I didn't plant them this year because I'm kind of tired of having to also treat them because they get those little bugs.
Oh yeah.
You didn't know, so I'm not a big pesticide fan. So I just gave up. I didn't give up in the sense that I just didn't want to keep using pesticides.
See, I just cheated and used the eyedropper. So you can make some pumpkin shapes. So that's all they did was they made different polylines, converted to arc, and steal
And
those
they
eyeballs.
probably used something to like get in the realm, so they probably traced something, or someone just is a really good artist and also uses review.
Could be. Could be.
You just copied that, didn't you? You didn't.
Totally.
Yeah, okay.
I'm cheating. But yeah, you can make your own silly faces. You can do whatever
Touchscreen
you want.
pen. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, Doug.
Oh, touchscreen pen would be
On
sweet.
the iPad, yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you can do all sorts of
Yours is
fun
actually
things here.
looking pretty good, Jason. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I'm having a little bit too much fun here, so don't mind me if I'm going on a little rant or get quiet because I'm in the zone here. I messed up my little.
Yeah, I think you just used the line.
Yeah, well, the team sharing thing was in my way. Give it a little stem. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna go grab a pumpkin today and carve one with my kid. Be like, hey, it's been a while. Dad needs to do this.
Yeah, I totally would, but Court's been sick for the last couple weeks.
Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah.
And we'll just send that to the back. Do-do-do-do-do.
Now we have a 3D pumpkin model. You're carving. This would be us carving. You don't need to go out and get a pumpkin.
No,
You
you
can make one here.
just draw. Maybe that should be a contest for today. You have my permission to use the rest of today. Forget your billable hours and just create a pumpkin and post it on the LinkedIn group. Let's see what you come up with. No, don't do that. I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, we could make a session.
We
and
could.
We could provide these for next year.
Once upon a time. I think he needs a nose. Oh, it's red. It's hard to see. I don't want to put a thing there. Yeah, you can tell I haven't used this command in a while. That's okay. But yeah, so what they did was they went in and they created groups or different polygons, and then grouped it together, and then created some variations, right? So they probably created the spider, and then they created a black widow, and then this one, same thing. They went in and they mirrored it. How do you mirror things anymore? I forget. Um, and
You can write,
you can right click.
and it should be. Can you do it? I don't even think you can mirror in here. Yeah, flip. There it is.
Where did you see that?
Alignment, flip.
There we go. Yeah, I'm so used to AutoCAD that I'm like, oh, where's mirror? And I just don't see the M and I forget about it. So flip. There you go. So this guy, now that I've got all my components together, I'm going to grab them all and then group it. Now it's one object. And if I want to add that to my tool set, all I got to do is come down here and drag it in. Hey,
I
drag
don't
it
think
down
you
here.
can. Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be cool. I guess if you could drag it across.
What tool was I doing that with? There was something where I dragged it into my thing the other day. It might not have been Bluebeam.
You could
I'm
click
all
it.
over the
Yeah,
place.
it's definitely not Bluebeam. You could click it out onto your PDF, yes,
Mm,
which kind of
yeah.
simulates a drag. You were probably using Hive, maybe dragging. No, because is there anything from Civil you can put in Hive? You can drag into your
Um,
thing. You're probably watching someone using Revit.
I would never do that. That's hurtful. How would you dare you accuse me of that? No, I think I was probably using ACC and just dragging stuff onto it. I'm so used to drag and dropping. But yeah, now we have our thing, and I can go to a different page, and I can go drop a pumpkin. There's no door there. There. And go put our little pumpkin friend there. Oop, he's too big. There we go. So creating custom tools doesn't have to be just a simple box property thing like that. I love the drawing mode. I love the properties mode. I hate that I will never get them correct because I always think they're opposite of what they are. But it doesn't have to be dimensions. It doesn't have to be a basic workflow. It doesn't have to contain certain comments. You can get a little artistic with it, especially if you're doing details. Some of these details that I'm seeing on some of these drawings are getting pretty, well, detailed. Sorry. Um, and you can group them together. You can manipulate the colors. You can manipulate things to make them more usable, make them more applicable, and then ultimately more shareable. So there we go. We've created some spooktacular symbols. What we didn't do is break down, some of the alignments and the other tricks that I know, Michael, you've got when you're paying attention.
Yeah. So the one thing that I wanted to talk about is what's the difference between what you can do with a snapshot versus a grouping. So we should probably point that out. If you can take a snapshot of something like the R logo, what is the difference between a snapshot markup and a grouped markup, and why would you make a grouping versus a snapshot?
That's a fine question. So why would I do that? Now, this logo is not fair, right? Because it's got some gradient hatch to it. It's going to be hard to duplicate. Um, and do I want to use something with
Well,
a?
just do this and let's see. So like if you grab that, I think it's like
Oh,
change. No, I think change color still works.
let's grab the little datum thingy. Is that what it's called? So snapshot tool. You can go a couple ways and do this. Edit snapshot or hit G on the keyboard, and this is basically a copy paster, right? If I copy this and then I hit paste, it's going to give me my symbol here. Now this symbol, I have ways that I could have created this manually. Draw a circle, bisect it, dynamic fill. I could do that in a few different steps, but this is a different world, right? Um, so what would you say are the differences between snapshot and grouping?
I always forget. So let's drag that down. Um, no, into your tool set,
Oh,
and then let's place a new markup.
it is scary because it's architectural, so spectacular. So place a new markup. Do-do-do-do.
So in the tool set, can you right click on that in the tool set from the tool set itself? Right click, can you change colors? So you can change colors. You can create it into a count. So you can do that.
Hey,
I'm
now that I have,
wondering, maybe there isn't a main difference between a grouped versus a singular.
I feel like there is. It's been a while since we've covered this topic.
Well, because I'm wondering if you draw things out, is it better to not have it labeled as a group and you see each individual item? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so you can see how you can have the drop down. Maybe that's too much things and people can get those mixed up. What if you were to draw it and then take a snapshot? Like, is that better than having things grouped unless you're gonna dynamically change a portion of the markup, which you can do, like a section, right? Drag a elongated tail to it or something. I don't know.
And this is where if you were actually going to create these symbols, I would rename them, right? Orange bat, purple bat, ghost.
Oh, that's a good
So
thing.
the actual subject itself needs to be more descriptive.
Yes. So I think that's the issue that David's talking about because he brought it up as snapshot as a photo. So scaling, I think, is the issue. Can't scale. You can't make scalable markups as snapshots. That's what it is. That's the issue. Go. So if you wanted to, because it's a photo, it's rasterized. Mm-hmm. Let me check on my end because I have some, so I'll just do it myself.
Fix some things here.
Let me check to see if that is. Let me confirm it before we go and make that the statement. I think that was one. There was one thing as to why you wouldn't want to make things scalable. So let me check. Or why you wouldn't want to make a snapshot on some of them. So give me a second. And some of you probably already know the answer, but let me open up.
You can make scaled snapshots because that's what we used for.
Can you?
When we make our exhibits, remember when we were doing our detail thing and we were doing, let me see, like this. If I want to make a snapshot of this detail to move to another page, right? Snapshot of that. Now I want it to go here. I'm going to go ahead and erase. I'm just making room for this. Here we go. So now if I want to drop in that detail and put it on this page instead, it maintains the original scale that it was, but
they are scalable, so they do scale. Okay, so that wasn't the issue. What is the issue then?
You mean if we did like viewports? Well, let's try that, right?
I'm doing it on a second screen right here, but yes, they can scale. So
you share your stuff. You can't snap to geometry. Yeah, that's an absolute good point.
So they do scale. So I just took a snapshot of this thing here. Right. So it actually works better, in my opinion, because if I were to place this G, Control V, drag that down, I think it works better because look, now when I scale it, where is that? See how the R gets messed up? Here it doesn't.
Wait, what was the difference there?
The R?
Yeah, but what caused that R to shift?
It's the way the text is formatted, not probably being centered in the grouping. Style. It is. Nope. See, it's not centered. You would want it centered aligned so that it. Yeah. So that's an issue, but the snapshot wins on that one. But can I? Is there a way?
And Brian says,
where's this section?
If you flatten the snapshot, wait a minute. Oh, snap to markup, yeah.
Is there a way to go? Why are you copying? Is there a way to go into this section here Oh, I probably have reuse command on right now. To make it draggable.
Oh yeah, you can snap. So why did we say that we couldn't? I don't know.
Let me go to general. I have reuse markup on, which is not fun. Reuse tools or reuse command. Because I'm not hitting copy. Is my control stuck?
Hmm.
There we go. Um, is there a way to get into this? Shift? No. Control? No. Alt? Oh. Okay, so there is. If you hold Alt, you can get into the markup and shift things around. So that's one thing you can't do with a snapshot. You can't use Alt to get in and change because it's an image.
With an image, you can add a mask color, which you can't do with a snapshot. And you can create a transparent background for a snapshot.
I think the shift is you making a dynamic one where you want to change things, right?
Hmm. Snapshot, you can't edit the text. Good point, David.
True. Yep. So in here, I would be able to. So I guess it just comes down to the type of markup that you want to use. But like, I could come over here and instead of taking the time to recreate all these, if it's a typical, what I would do is I would just snapshot. So it just comes
Right.
down to time. But then also, that's another thing too, is when you take a snapshot of something, it creates the background too of it. So you need to be worried about what it's overlaying next to as well. But I would use a snapshot for most things, probably, unless I needed it to be dynamic.
Yeah. Because the recreation, especially if you're doing something that was generated from a design program. Yeah. Brian nailed it on the head. It's just easier, faster, copy paste. We love copy paste.
Yeah, because they
Ooh.
scale. I'm trying to think of, there was something that was pretty impactful, but I guess it wasn't. Maybe I was just thinking that it was.
So, David with the challenge. I'm going to try this.
It's a challenge. I don't have my chat up.
If you, no, it retains the original background color. The question was if you did a snapshot when you have in dark mode and with a blue background or black background, does it?
Yeah,
Um,
these still work.
yeah.
It's still
The
well.
snipping tool, like the Windows snipping tool or Snagit, would grab the color background, but
Well,
Revu is
Snapshot's not
smarter.
even grabbing a background.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, it is in the background of the text.
Oh, that's weird. I didn't grab one with text. I grabbed just line work.
Because like if I were to come into here and say, I want this. Oh, I did snag it. G, my bad.
Yeah, Snagit's the best. Brian, up in the preferences on the advanced tab on the left, or use a search and just type in dark mode. When you select dark mode, there's a dark mode background color that you can set.
Yeah, there'll be a quick tip video coming out on that when you asked me to make one. But yeah, it's an advanced. It's down here. And by the way, if you're ever wondering how to change it, because I couldn't find it for the life of me, you just look here. I typed
Yeah.
in dark.
Yep. I love that search.
Yep.
So good.
And I did update because I made a quick tip video, but that's the only reason why I updated. Otherwise, it would have been updated. It would have taken me a couple more months.
This is a big day. I just realized that you updated, that you're
Yes.
on the current version Holy cow. Not bad. What date was that? When did they release this? Now
We
we're
have
doing this.
when we released the update, I don't know, but I had to make I didn't have to, I was asked to, and I accepted because I love making content.
September 24th, so a month.
Yeah, I updated in the office before I did a video on Thursday. Yep, there's a tool. The new search thing is great. And hopefully that is going to build into another tool, which would be an assistant. I hope there's a tool that assists you with learning your workflow of commands that you use most frequently, and then just suggests things to use while you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
So you're quicker. You don't have to go and search for things and commands and items that are just, this is what you are going to, that's learning of what you did last time.
Right.
All data driven from your workflow on what you do. I need a Clippy that tells me my next thing that I'm going to do because it knows what I do typically.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting there. I was working in a Word document a lot yesterday, and it was like, no, are you sure these are the words you want? Yeah. It's getting there.
It's not that hard because they know from a log, right? You have a Bluebeam log that tells you everything that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
All you're doing is that's the input into the AI learning machine that then gives you an assistant of things that you're going to be publishing. Boom.
Yep.
Because right now AI is all data driven from inputs. So like you have to input it to then give you an output. The input would be your log of information that you're doing from command lists. And then it just gives you things that you're going to be doing next. Typically, when you go through and make a revision 3 or 4 times in a row, you go to this next command. Here's your next command. So then you don't have to go and use it. Make our lives easier. That's all.
Speaking of updates, did you update to the latest iOS?
Because I did a while ago.
Apple Intelligence.
Oh wait, so there's even another one. You're not talking about the text where you get to like do cool individual text.
18.1 came out
this
morning or yesterday. And first set of features powered by Apple Intelligence. Supposedly, it's got enhancements to camera control, capture spatial photos, record phone calls. Yeah, really, and it's supposedly Siri's more or conversational. So there you go. AI is coming for you.
Update tonight. I need that. I'm a huge advocate for AI. That's just me.
I'm not. I'm torn. I'm becoming the old man. Get off my lawn.
This is
because it's so. Here's your AI. Like, no, I don't want AI for this. I want AI to do the dishes. I don't want AI to write my Word docs.
You were around when the internet came out. So it's the same type of resistance.
Should I be offended by that, fellow old people? Yeah.
I was around too. I was younger and I remember dial-up. But I'm saying you were probably a little bit older and it was more impactful on your life than it was for me, right? I grew into it versus it being more of a rush into yours. Does that make sense? That's what I'm saying from a timeline perspective. Yeah. That being said, that's the same thing for AI in our age now.
Okay.
This is like a one in 100-year thing, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, and you could take it as it is. Once in 100-year thing that is going to be hyper impactful, and it may not even be 100-year thing anymore because technology is advancing so quickly. But this is the internet, I would say, of my age.
Yeah, I would say that's probably fair. But it's just shocking that it's like become a space race. Who can get there
Yeah.
first, who can do this, and who can. Everybody's got their own. You know,
This is
the
the Wild West right now, but soon we'll all understand how it's going to play an impactful part of our lives. The thing that I'm excited about AI and how impactful it is for what we do, and ours is going to be a slower race just because of what is happening from an industry perspective. AI is more impactful on other industries than it is on ours because the technology is more of a line from an input image based item, and the development on that side is from people in those spaces where we don't have much of the engineering and development from an AI perspective that understands how our solutions work. So that being said, it's going to be a little bit longer, but what it will do for all of us is make us work more efficiently and more effectively. That's what excites me.
Yeah, but I still think we're having an efficiency revolution as well,
Yeah,
right?
I
Because
agree.
there's been so many people who have never thought about being efficient. They just thought about getting it done. They didn't care if it took 2 hours or 20 hours. A job's a job. You do what you do is make sure it's right. Now it's like, hey, if we could do that quicker, it'd be good. Cost, money and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, Doug, on your note, like AI helps you write code and gives you the fundamentals of it. It's kind of like the same thought process I would equate it to engineering, right? You can write out your algorithm or your equation to engineer some type of load bearing member, or you can have an analysis tool review that effectively for you versus you having to do the long written equation, right? That's the same thing from an AI perspective is that it's going to get you the end result, but you still need to know the fundamentals of
hmm
engineering. You still need to know the fundamentals of coding to verify that it is going to work and replace it with things. Because yes, from especially from a Revit side, using it for your functions within your equations of Revit, you still need to verify because I used it when I was creating some families to be parametric. The equation still wasn't 100% because it doesn't know the specific variables that Revit uses, but it still got me more of the way there from a fundamental starting point and an idea of how to write it out, and then you just replace it with things. So you still need to know the basics.
I think it's comes back to homework. You got to show your work. You can't just
Yep.
copy your buddy's answers and,
Yeah.
and put the answer down. You got to show how you got there. And I think that's one thing that the
But
AI could probably do, but we just got to prompt it to do that.
yeah. But how much time did you save by having it start for you? That's
Yeah.
the thing. That's what excites me. The amount of time we're getting back to do other things and our other daily tasks um, is tenfold comparative to what you used to have to do,
hmm
right? Same thing with like your analysis solution from designing some type of load bearing member. You can have it start from a fundamental standpoint. Of course, if you need to go and hand calc it out, it's going to take some time. But why not have something that's there and available that does work that you just need to verify?
hmm
That's kind of like my reference, I guess.
No, David, I have not seen the AI video to show how the pyramids were built. That sounds intriguing. Because it's still somewhat of a mystery, right? They have theories, but what would AI do?
But yeah, back to like what I think would be helpful for us in any tool perspective. And if we're worried about public data being driven to open sources, um, it wouldn't be that hard to create your own private AI database with input from your own division, right? That's learning from your siloed group. That way, it's only performing from your siloed group and not globally, and then having your information global out there. That's possible, right? That's probably going to be a bigger hit, I feel, for our industry is isolated um, um, I'm trying to think of the word because I'm going to probably announce it incorrectly, and everyone's going to that does know about building AI learning machines is going to say that's not what you say it is. But what I'm saying is an individual siloed tool of an AI learning
Like just have my own.
platform. Yes, that takes your data and learns from your own company versus putting that out globally is what you would want to do.
So
That's
like,
probably going to be a bigger hit.
why is my wife mad at me now? Type of thing. So it's like my own personal database of of whatever I'm doing. I'll be able to
Yeah,
query. I'm like, at what
yeah.
point did this go wrong?
But not you, not just you, but I'm saying from like our industry of like ATG, right? So let's just use ATG as an example. We have our private AI learning machine that's taking our own data, not outsourcing it group globally, which does give you better database by having larger information being consumed from it. But that way it's still private. That's going to be a bigger hit for what we do.
Yeah.
And I think just as how we operate um, of protecting your data, I think is going to be more generated around that.
But what are you gonna do with all this extra time? Start working
Work
a
more.
20-hour week? You're gonna work more?
Well, you just get more done,
But then
right?
you'll run out of stuff to do.
Maybe that results in this not having a 5 day typical work week. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe we build quicker and perform things more effectively.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I remember reading, when Autodesk mentioned their AI thing, because one of the challenges that we are seeing, and I mean, I talk to customers every day, we can't find the people to do the work. We can't find drafters. Drafters don't exist. I've got engineers doing drafting. Well, engineers don't want to draft, nor do we want to pay an engineer to do drafting work, right? So that's a real problem. AI can fix that, and Autodesk wants to make the software be 5 times as powerful so it can do some of those mundane tasks. But still, that was a job. That was a slot on a payroll. If we're eliminating that, um, where's it all going to go? Are we going to automate ourselves out of jobs? Because, yeah, those jobs might not have workers to fill them, but
Well,
still.
see, I think you still have that thing where it comes back to input. AI currently right now is an input game. You still have to input to get an output.
Yeah.
Maybe that will change. Maybe it won't. Maybe that's the safeguard for everyone from that perspective. Input and an output. But like, Brian was saying, it helps him code. I was talking someone that came over this weekend for that Halloween thing. He works in cybersecurity, right? And his ability to write code more effectively and efficiently, he uses AI for that. So that is something that creates an easier pathway into things. Now there's going to be those people that then take experience into it, right? But if you wanted to get into coding, you can have a fundamental start way quicker by leveraging AI, but sometimes it's not always right. So you do need to verify, and that's where that experience comes into. So
Yeah, it is the revolution, and I need to get on board. But I'm a little, I don't want to say pessimistic. I'm just nervous.
I think a lot of people are nervous because the worry of replacement. And I don't think it's the issue that we're having with the worry of replacement is that we are currently in a deficit of experience, and that is where replacement's going to happen because owners need to create revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to create revenue and you don't have the workforce, you're going to automate things. So we may be the demise of our own result because, and maybe it wasn't us as an industry, more of just as a economic standpoint, especially with 2008, right? We're having that ripple effect happen now, automate some tasks out of existence. So
Necessity, yeah. And the coding part is what blows my mind, because like you think computer coding is mystical and difficult, and I've dabbled a little bit with simple things like list routines back in the day, but you can literally have AI write you a list routine in 12 seconds.
crazy.
Like, well,
See,
that used
that's
to
the
take me
thing.
12 hours.
Yeah. imagine, right? You're trying to go through that's like all relevant to you. That aspect of like creating a quick Lisp routine versus having to spend all day doing it, right? You need something to be more effective. You can just do that versus wasting 12 hours of creating the Lisp routine for you to be more effective at your job.
Mm.
But anyways, we're at time.
Oh, that's a dark thought, David. AI won't replace your job. Someone with using AI will just do it faster. So I mean, you kind of are. So it is adapt or,
It's all about input. Become an
welcome
input
our
master.
robot overlords. Yeah, there we go. Well, that's a dark note to leave us out on. Well, in the spirit of Halloween, we'll leave it. So, happy trick or treating. Be safe out there, and we will see you next week in November.
November, my birthday month, and Turkey month.
My birthday month as well. All right, we'll see you all next week. Take care.
See you all then.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content on our channel.